Hello and welcome back to Scriptcase by Jamie. Thank you very much for watching. I am, of course, Jamie. Who else would it be? And you are watching, hopefully, since the beginning. And if you are not, then what are you doing? Why are you watching this video? Start from the beginning. Go on. Go from the beginning. You don't just want to watch this video. You want to go right to the beginning and you want to start all over from scratch. I'm joking. I'm really joking. Okay, so we have been creating our form clients, form companies, grid clients, grid company applications. Let's have a quick look at them, shall we? Let's actually start from the menu and we can have a quick run over them. And of course, we have outdated applications with updates. So maybe we should generate those first of all. And then we can have a quick look at the menu and see where we are within this initial project. And we still have everything open from the previous video. So if you don't know why anything is open, again, why are you watching this video? Okay, so I'm joking really. No more of that. So we have our menu application, and again we have our blank application that's doing blankety blank. Yeah. We have our form clients, form companies, grid clients, as well as the grid companies. Okay, so these are already, well, they're logging our data. We have an activity status here, which is pretty ugly because it's just a number 1. You know, it's, what is that? You know, and we have our form companies. Oh, and our email fields are all the way up here in a real mess. So we really need to deal with that one now, don't we? That's not a good state to be. And then we have here our form clients, which is looking good. We have everything in the correct position. And of course, our email field is here. Lovely. So let's dive in straight away to here, the form companies. Make this quick adjustment so that we can continue here with our grid applications, because that's really where we want to be. We shouldn't have missed this in the previous video. Oh my God, so much to do. Recording, editing, video, planning. Yeah, there is a lot to this. Just wait for the trainings. When the trainings, because that's what I typically do also, is create trainings. This is fun. Yes, this is actually fun. This is completely different. This is not the same. I am not training you. I'm just showing you and messing around, and a little messing around, because of course we have to be serious. We are in fact developing something that you want to use for production, essentially. That's the whole idea of it. Why else would you want to use Scriptcase? Yes, why else? So our menu application is irrelevant, and we have here our grid applications. We need to come here to our form companies, which we still have open, and we have here our company email, company support. So let's just drag them down here. And of course, let's close that because I'm getting no option here to save, if you noticed. So I'll save that like so, and that will force the application to close, or it won't close. But either way, it has hopefully saved now. There you go, just a back and forth sometimes will do it. And of course, now the application is closed. Okay, so we're actually done with that now anyway. Let's save and close here the form clients as well. And I don't think we need the application language no more. Again, form clients, yes, save and close. Okay, let's try it this way, save and close. Thank you. Okay, so there we go. Back to our home. We are still outdated here on our client, so I want to update that so that when we do open it from our grid applications, we have the latest updated form. Not then that we look at it and of course it's still a mess. We wouldn't want to be seeing those fields where they're not meant to be. Again, we'll be wasting time, energy, frustration. Why is it not working? And of course, well, it is. It's just, yeah, you just needed to refresh the form. Okay, so we have then our grid application, and right now we have here our active status. Now we have a few ways of dealing with this information because I think it's good to have, for instance, we have an active status. So maybe have 2 sets of lists where you have active companies and inactive companies. Or maybe let's actually group them. Let's do something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag here the active status out of the way, save that. And then I'll come here onto the left hand side, come here to the group by, and I will choose a static group by. And new group by, and here then in this I will drag here the active, okay, and then over here grid totals I'll drag, well, it doesn't allow me, so summary totals, the record count. Now I will add a name in here, you don't have to, but I will add a name in here, so I'll call it status active, or in fact let's change it to company status, like so. Okay, so and then we have here status. And like that, save. Okay, so if I now go ahead and run that grid application again now we have here the active equals, 1. We need to change that. And of course, we don't want to have number 1, we want active or inactive. And that's why, of course, active, we may want to change that. So right now, if we come here to our field company status, and here the field, click on here the active, we can then adjust here what is displayed. And we have here the methods available, and I will choose manual, and I'll say for active, we want 1. So again, what I'm going to need is here the application language and create some language keys to use for that. So again, we're using languages is very important. So I need to come back here, I'll create a new folder, and again, what will I choose now? So where are we? We're in grid companies. We're on the group. Let's go group buys. So I'll call it groups. Group buys. Group by. Add folder. And then in here now, I can start to add all of my group by messages. So I have to go lang underscore grp by. Yeah. Underscore. Try and keep that short, because then that will give you more characters to play with for your index if you need to. So for now, group by underscore, and it was the status, right? So active, let's just add both of them, active and inactive. Let's say active. I'll just copy and paste that here into each of these, add message, and I will add another one. And again, lang group by underscore and inactive. Okay, and again, we can add in here, inactive, like so. And I'll just paste them again into all of these fields, add that, and now we can just use this as our language variable. So if I copy that, come here to grid companies. Okay, so then we need to return back here to our active field and change here the label that we have displayed here, and that will then remove here the active status. So I can change it to status. If I come back here to application language, and again, if I come back here to group by, I'll add another group by option here, lang, and I'll just call it status, because it should really be, well, in fact, let's add the group by there also. And I can just add status, if I spell it correctly, of course. And again, I'll just paste that everywhere here, update that, and now I have a new language variable to use here for the status. And now if I go ahead and run that, there we have now status equals active, and maybe we would not want that equal symbol there. So here in the settings, we can make the changes here again, but we want the main settings of the group by, and that's up here. And then we can change here the value separator. So I can just say equals instead. And of course, if you want to make any other adjustments to how that's displayed here for the group by, we could make those changes here by maybe grouping by the header, not allowing the sorting or anything else. But for now, I think it's just fine. So I'll just go ahead and run that. And then here now, within our application status equals active. And then if there are inactive companies, they will then be displayed within the same grid as inactive. Okay, so I think we'll just apply the same thing actually here to the grid clients. And if I just close here the fields, come back here to the group by, and again we can add here a static group by, and let's add that in here as well. And I guess I will add clients underscore status. We add here the active again, and into the summary totals, save that. And again, we want to adjust here the field so that we have those values again correctly displayed. So again, here we want that status again. So we just copy that again here, place that here for the clients here. So that's straight away for that field. And then we can apply then here our inactive and active language variables. See what I mean by copy and pasting all the time? You know, it really is. There is just tons of copy and pasting all the time, no matter what you do. So anyway, here we go, 1 and 0, and there we then have our language variables ready. And if I go ahead and save that again, we will see pretty much the same result. We still need to change here the value. So let's quickly apply that here also. Sorry, the group by settings, and remove that there also. And then we have pretty much the same layout as what we have in the other one. We can change here, remove there the active status also. So let's very quickly do that. And there we go. So we have now our applications grouped by. We don't have the email here yet. So let's just go ahead and actually adjust here David Smith. David.smith@home.com. Okay, so there we go, save that. And if I go back here, and I'll also adjust to Tom Jones, tom.jones@home.com. Lovely. And save that also. And there we have an error. Look at this. Unknown column, add date in field list. Insert into companies, clients. Yeah. ID clients, ID companies, add date, update date, values 2. So here we have an error somewhere along the line. Of course, it's here with our SQL insert statement somewhere. So let's go back here into our form. The form, of course, is generated by Scriptcase. So, which is why I say you really ideally want to have those details straight away, because yes, you come there and it just stops working. It's not good when you start updating the database table all the time. You know, but sometimes you have to. That's the way it goes. Right, so that says here the add date field. So let me come first of all here to the synchronized table. Yes, that looks good. Fields. And we have no information there. Come here to edit fields. And that add date should be date time insert. It says here it's a date time. So I'm going to have to then, of course, check that within our database here. And update date. So client update date should be date, add date should be date time, as it is. So that should be fine. So if I save again, unknown column, add date and field list, insert into company's clients. Yeah, so you were inserting, we should have the values, and then we have no values here. Oh no, this is actually our extra table, isn't it? Okay, so so, okay, there we have, of course, for our clients. Let's check here our events on after update. We are then inserting. So there we have our first error. Look with our insert here. So ID clients, ID companies. Now here the add date. Update date, and we have here the company fields. Ouch. Okay, so we need to change that, of course. I knew we had to come back here. Now I have some lovely snippets here, of course. Yeah, sorry everyone. These will be for members that will be downloading and importing this project. And yes, you see there are many of them in here, many options there, and of course very easy to use them. Just have to click on them, which is pretty much what I am going to do now. So right now we need the current date and time. So I have here PHP date time current, and I can then straight away use and apply this here within my application. So here I'll use this. Add date is then here the current date, and then the update date, well, that would be the update date. Why would we want to add that here? We don't want to add that here. We just want to add the add date. So there I will apply that. And we have date time. So yes, that should be correct. And now, of course, if I go ahead and run the application again, let's try that again, number 2. And here we had tom.jones@home.com. And if I go ahead and save that again, we still have an error message. But now we see here that we have our date in here. So at least that's correct. but it's still saying unknown column, add date. So our field does not match this, okay? So of course I should have seen that when we just checked our database, because of course we were here a few moments ago, right? Right, so I need to log back in again and come back here to the project one, companies, clients, and there it's add with capital D's. See, that is the difference. And then of course we need to make sure we get these characters right. So was that date add or add date? Date add. So let's change that, date add, like so, and then we can save that. See why it's so important to make sure you have those correct fields, that you take them from your plans. You know, you can't be messing around. And yeah, I've been messing around creating these videos. But yeah, I really have fun creating things in Scriptcase. It's great. Come on, look how easy it is to achieve something that does something spectacular. It's amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this form again. And now if I go ahead back here to Mr. Tom Jones, tom.jones at home.com, because that's where we are, at home, and save, and there we are, data modified. Now everything is functioning as it should do. Okay, so now the database has been updated, everything's good, lovely. Okay, so there we now have the form, the email addresses, and that's what we were actually working on at the time. So let's return there and come back here to our grid companies. Okay, and it was actually grid clients, sorry about that, but yes, grid clients. And here then we have now our active status, and of course our email addresses in here. Now if I click on this, yes, it opens up my email application. Great. It's really a great way to email people, isn't it? Now, I really like the idea of having templates. When I create these platforms, I always try to involve templates somewhere along the line, because they save a ton of time. So one of the things I've been thinking of for this platform, so I'm going to give it away now, what it's going to be, but well, I guess I have to, really, don't I? You're going to figure it out eventually, because of course I don't just want it to send emails, you know, because I could do that just by clicking on this and using Outlook or my Mailbird or whatever other email application you are using. You could just go ahead and use that. Click on that. Who cares? No, you don't want to do that, do you? Because yeah, it opens up your email application. Sometimes Outlook just struggles, just dies there in the background, and then okay, you're a Mac user, aren't you? Well, in that case, nothing struggles for you, thankfully, and well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? So in that case, you could use one of those applications, of course, to go ahead and send an email via that. But yeah, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to my grid clients, and I'm going to come here to fields, and I'm going to add a new field. I've got one new field. I will go next. So I haven't given it away yet, have I? I kind of totally got distracted of adding a new field. Well, you'll find out soon enough what it is. Okay, so the new field, what will this be? This will be email, and I'll go _user. Or yeah, it's not really a user. Let's go _client. And I want this just to be a text field. And I'm also going to call it email and create. Okay, and now that I have this field ready, I actually want to populate this with something, because it's a dead field. It's not coming from the database. Remember that the forms created and everything else, everything comes from the database, right? But in this case, well, this field has no data, so I need to populate it with something. So I'm going to come here to the events, and I have here on record. So with the on record event, I can populate this field on every turn of events. So every time this grid loads the next record, it will populate the field for me. Okay, so that way I can basically just come in here and I can say, okay, now this field, remember curly brackets, is email _client, which is what my field is called. I had just created that. Now that is then equals whatever I want it to be. So I can say, well, email client, say send email. Okay, and I'll run that, for instance, and just like that, I have now a send email text here. Lovely. It doesn't do anything yet, so we need it to do something. And the easiest way for that, well, of course, is to create a new application. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new application, guys. Did you expect that? I wonder how many applications we are going to create. Who knows? So right now, I think the easiest way is really, if I just go with the control form, I will use the default layout and I'll call it control client underscore email. Okay, like so. And then I'll go create. And then what we're going to do with this is to just add some very basic fields in here. So we need for an email a to field, a from field, a subject field, and also a message field, ideally. Now, we don't really need the from and to, but I think maybe let's add them in there anyway. So we have then 4 fields. Now, the first few will be text fields, where we have our to, our from, our subject, and then the final field here, well, maybe let's have a HTML editor in there, shall we? And here we go then to email underscore to, let's go like so, and email underscore from, and email underscore subject, and then email underscore message. Now I'm doing this because really the amount of times I get asked, how do I send email, is, yeah, I get that asked quite a lot, and it's so easy to do within Scriptcase. It's really mind-blowing. Of course, you could use the API, which is a little more complicated, but for now, it's as it is. But of course, if you use an API to send your mail, then in that case, you will want to use that regardless. But for this, we just need a very basic email. So we have our to, from, subject, and message fields. So if I go ahead and create that, I can then start to, well, play around with these fields maybe. So let's run the form first of all and see what it looks like. And of course, we will want to make our standard adjustments to this. So come to the layout. Now I don't want the header displayed in this, so I'll save that. And we want these fields also to be 100%. They're the usual things. So vertical alignment top, inputs width 100. Yes, I know. And we want the table also as 100%. Okay, sorry, table width. There we go. And save that. Okay, so just like that, we have then the form, well, looking completely different again. There we go. And we will make one further adjustment here to our labels, as well as also to our toolbar, because we don't need an OK and exit for this form. So let's get rid of those. So the first thing I want to do, what did I say? The labels. So let's adjust those. So we have here settings blocks, and let's place those labels above, first of all. And then we also want to adjust here the toolbar. So let's come to the toolbar and here the OK. Let's move that to the right and exit to the left there. And OK, I don't want OK. I want to call it send email. Okay. And here the exit, let's call that cancel. If I can spell cancel correctly. And we call it cancel, send email. So there we have our new buttons like so. And we can just OK that. Now, what I do actually think would be really nice here is the option to change the type of buttons that these are. So, of course, we have those theme options for these buttons. And yeah, having these now as default buttons, that sometimes really frustrates me. So in some cases, I'd rather use the HTML version of the control form, and then I can create the form in any shape or form I like. But of course, using the default generator, as I just have done for this email form, yes, this is an email form. Okay, it doesn't do anything yet. It will soon. Okay, see how much fun I have with these videos. It's really good. Anyway, so we have our to, from, subject, and message fields. Our control form or email form is pretty much ready. We're not done with this video just yet. I could add a hint in here, but I think it's obvious what send email is. And I think it's also very important that we now come to our application languages and change those button names as well as the field labels, because of course we're using languages. There's a bit more work to do. So we create now, first of all, a new folder, and what I will call this one is, I will call this one client_email, because we may have further email forms or options, who knows. And then of course you will want to have all of that organized or semi-organized, because no matter what I do, it still gets messy. It's funny, but okay, let's go ahead and add some new fields. We have then the control client email here. So if I come here to the edit fields, we have here the email to, email from, email subject, email message. So we need to create these fields as well as our two button fields. So let's go lang, and I'll call CL capital E underscore. Well, I'll add the email because, yeah, sometimes it's a little confusing anyway with these abbreviations, isn't it? So CL email underscore, and then we want this one too. And then I can just copy paste this, and it's much easier to go like so this time around. And I'll add another one. And then here we want the from, and the from. And then we want also here the subject. Of course, we could reuse these throughout our application if we wanted to. So if we decide not to add any more or use another form which is nearly the same, we could go ahead and use these language variables throughout our application without having to add it again, you know. Okay, adding it in the first place is, yeah, it's its own task. So there we have our 4 fields now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually quickly copy and paste those over. So like so, and not the from field, we want the language variable, don't we? Okay, so there we've placed then the from, and then we also have the subject here. So let's place that in there also. Now, sorry if I'm going fast for guys, of course, like I said, it's not training. It's more just a bit of fun project wise to show you guys how easy it is really to create some cool things in Scriptcase. If you want something more serious, then you will want to check out the Scriptcase by Jamie website, and of course there will be a training area. Maybe it's there already, who knows. And then of course you will be able to learn a great deal more about Scriptcase on specific topics, on areas, and yeah, it's pretty in-depth, and it's a real training. It's not like this, because yeah, I do drink coffee in between. I should actually drink while I'm talking, can I? I forget that. I could be drinking while I'm talking. Well, maybe when I level up. For now, let's stay where I am. Let's just keep it fun and easy. So we've added now our fields as well as our language keys. We still have to add here our buttons. So let's add here our buttons in here. So I said it's CL email, and I had actually copied that, so I could have just pasted that in there. Look, ouch. Okay, and let's go OK, and that will be send. And then let's just go email, and we'll call that one cancel, just for, you know, for the sake of the button. You could have even called it exit, but yeah, it's fine. And save that one. Okay, so there we then have our language variables, and of course we want to come back here into our client control email form. I was about to go into another form then. Access our toolbar again, and then here we want to then change these labels, and of course make sure that we place the correct ones in there. So there I used OK. So let's come back here and OK. I said OK. Excellent. So now that's ready. We can save that. And if I go ahead and run that now, of course, if your language variables are saved and everything else, then, well, they will be applied just like they are now here. And as I said, it would be great if I could just add one of the themes that I have saved to this send button, guys, as well as the cancel button. I would really like to have that one in red and this one in maybe the orange that I like, because I really like orange, or even the green. You know, green's cool as well. Even yellow, whatever, just a different color than the default color, because it's a send button. So please, guys, over there in Scriptcase, think about adding here the option to change these themes. And I'm sure there'll be many other things that I'm going to come across that I'll be saying, guys, please, please, please. And of course, if there's anything you guys want in Scriptcase, well, add it in the comments. Add comments. Suggest something. Let me know. I'll send it over to them. I say I don't, but I do mention it. Of course I do. And then, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, with a bit of pressure, things will happen. And if not, well, they don't. That's the way it goes. And for now, we have now finished our control form. We have one more thing to do before we finish up. Okay, so we have now here our control email. We have all the fields. All the language variables are set. This is pretty much ready as a language form. So what I want to do then is come here to my events, and I will use straight away the on application in it. And what I want to do is I want to use a global variable here, and I want to grab, or should I say receive, the client email address from the sending or linking application. So in this case, it would be the grid companies or grid clients, sorry, because this is the control email, client email. Maybe we'll make one for the companies. Maybe we can use the same one. We'll see. We'll see as it goes. For now, it's the control client email form. We can always transform it. Transformers. Yeah, I'm not going to sing that. Okay, so we need to now add our global variable here. So I'll just call it straight out client email, right? So it's clear. And that will then also, again, equal here my global variable. Okay, so as simple as that, I can now pass my client email address from, or email address from any other application and link it with this one. So it's important to save that. I did save, right? Yes, I saved. I have done now anyway. And now I come back to here to my grid clients. I can now come back here to application links, create a new magic link, and attach this magic link to my email client field, the one that I've just created. Okay, so I'm going to attach it to that. Go next. And then here, I need to search for the form, but I don't need to search for it because it's right there. We only have few applications. Of course, when you have many applications, you may want to use here the search, or you can organize by folder, by type. Scriptcase is pretty cool like that. It does try to make things easy for you. Okay, anyway, we have then our control client email. I go next again, it is selected. And now because I have configured this variable client email within the control client email form over here, okay, so because I've defined it here, and now I'm passing a value here. And the value I want to pass is, of course, the client email. Okay, so I will confirm that. And now every time I click on the link, which we'll see in a moment, it will actually access that. I'll leave this open new in the same window, enable insert, enable update. I'll get rid of the delete. There will be no delete, so I'll just get rid of it now and save that. Now, if I run this now, and now if I click on here, send email, it will now open my control form. Okay, but of course, I don't have anything else to do yet. Where's my email address to? I just sent it here. Oh my God. We'll deal with that all in the next video, I'm afraid. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you are enjoying my dry humor, sarcasm. Yeah. Again, it's the way it goes. Again, I really hope you're enjoying it. And of course, learning something from what I am trying to show you within this series of videos. And remember, projects are available for members of Scriptcase by Jamie only. So if you're going to ask in the comments, where is the project? Sorry, you're not getting it. You need to sign up. You need to register. You need to become a member. Okay? And there you will have these projects available for you where you can download them, import them into your own Scriptcase and reuse them. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, where of course we will continue on with this mystery project.